You ever did a podcast before?
Never done one. No. Done lots of interviews and that sort of thing, but never an actual sit-down podcast discussion. So
all right. Well, we feel privileged to have you here doing your very first podcast. We are on the beautiful campus of East Tennessee State University, and I am sitting with an assistant professor in the Global Sport Leadership doctorate program, the great Dr. Adam Sayers. Welcome to the podcast, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
I got my doctorate at East Tennessee State University, 3-year program, online program, and you taught one of those classes in the summer. What class is that?
The early summer was the International Model of Sport class, which is a field experience. That's when we take a trip overseas. International
trip, yes. My first year, we went to Germany and Amsterdam. And it was my first time meeting you. Of course, it was an online program, besides the fact that we would meet in the summer and go on that international trip.
Yeah.
And right upon meeting you, you can get that you are passionate about the sport of soccer.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Sayers, allow me to get my American ignorance out of the way early. You know, soccer is known as the beautiful game.
Uh-huh.
And I'm saying, like, how beautiful is it if they can run up and down for 90 minutes and nobody scores? So Dr. Sayers, I'm going to ask you, what is it about the sport that you and seemingly the rest of the world loves, but us here in America haven't quite gotten yet? Like, what is it about the sport that reels you in?
That's it. It's an interesting question. I think there are several layers to it and several variables involved in an answer to that type of question. Obviously, as you say, it's by far the most popular sport globally. Countries, continents, millions and millions of people are huge fans of the game, play the game across the globe from the grassroots level up to the professional level and the international level. And I think it appeals to so many people in many different ways.
Right.
Speaking personally, I remember being first exposed to the game as a young child. It's Britain or Wales, where I grew up, is one of the countries where it is extremely popular.
Yes.
And it's by far the most frequently played inside and outside of school. So we would play in school at PE lessons. There's local football clubs in every town for young players up to the senior level. So you're exposed to it everywhere, and there's always an opportunity to join in. And from the very first time I joined in playing the game, I absolutely loved it. And then from that, it's obviously very popular at the professional level in Britain. There are 92 professional clubs in England and Wales.
What type of lessons have you learned from the sport that you apply to who you are as a professor, who you are as a husband and a father? Like, what lessons have you learned from that sport?
So in terms of lessons from the sport, I think the way in which I'm about to answer that question, I think you could probably apply to several sports, several team sports. But the concept of learning to function as a member of a team, learning to appreciate what other members of team can bring to a collective effort, learning to appreciate what you can bring to a collective effort and a collective objective of, in soccer's case, winning the game, winning trophies over time, over the course of a season. Building relationships, the social aspect I find very important in terms of building relationships. And then obviously, as you say, that very much relates to how you build relationships outside of the game, be it in academics, a professional environment, a social environment at school, at university, and then how you build relationships within your family. So I think those types of lessons have probably been most beneficial. The concept of building relationships and operating as part of a collective unit, working towards a shared goal or a common goal.